Yes.
All right. So we already talked about supplies. We're good there. So today is our last session of Artfully Tikkun Olam. So attendance, one of these days I should really write down the attendance. It's not like it is all that critical, but most, okay. But I know who's here and who's not. So it's good. So for tzedakah, this is our last day for the semester. So to turn in your tzedakah, if you wish, you can bring it to our event on 2 weeks from today at Tikkun ×3, or you can mail a check if you'd like. And you just put in the memo OT semester 2 tzedakah, and I'll include that in a follow-up email so that you'll have it with you when you're in a check writing mood, when and if. Thank you so much for your tzedakah. They are going to our camp fund this time. So please, give generously. That's all I can say. All right, let's keep going. So in our 6th and final class today, we are going to talk about responsibility. And this is one of Rabbi Shauna's favorite quotes. I've got to move this. It is not your responsibility to finish the work of perfecting the world, but neither are you free to desist from it. This is from Pirkei Avot, known as the Ethics of the Fathers. It's really kind of cool. If you haven't read this book, which I have not read it like cover to cover, but it is the source of many of the aphorisms that we use all the time. Can anybody think of another one off the top of their head that might come from this, from those of you?
About planting a tree.
Yeah, that you plant a tree for your future generations. That one's in there. Hillel's Im ein ani li mili is in there, which is, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? That one's in there. There are a lot of really good ones in there. And I chose this one. Why do you think I chose this one?
As we all take
work. I'm sorry, say again. Oh, Susan, go ahead. Susan first.
We're all partners in this world.
We're all partners in taking care of the world, right? Alyssa, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was connecting it to our artwork, that we always have all these great projects and may not always finish that, but keep starting new ones,
That's funny. I hadn't looked at it that way.
Go back to it.
So talk to me about it in the context of Tikkun Olam.
It could be public art, working on stuff that other people can enjoy.
Right?
Beautifying the world.
Beautifying the world. So sometimes it's a little overwhelming to think about how much is wrong, right? I don't know how many times I can get totally overwhelmed by thinking of all the stuff that's going wrong. And this is another one. I don't think it's in Pirkei Avot, but I like it, which is think globally, act locally. There's only so much we can do, and it's our responsibility to do some of that. No, we can't finish it. We can't make the world perfect. It's not going to happen, in our lifetimes, if ever, but it is our responsibility, and it's a mitzvah to contribute to it. This piece of art on the left side is from Voices and Visions. I want to get it right. Oh, of course I don't have my notes. It is from a website where the project was to take quotes, and then they got volunteer graphic artists, like nationally known graphic artists, to illustrate it. And the guy who did this one chose this image. So I want you to look at that for a minute and talk to me about the way it looks. Does it look really sturdy? What messages are going on in this image?
If you take just one piece out, the whole thing will fall.
Yep. What else?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's about balancing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Working together,
I'm sorry, say again, please.
working together or being together, each
Working
little
together.
piece adds up.
And the balance thing, to me, this thing looks so unsteady. Look at that T on the top.
And
So,
yours is on the bottom.
right, and the bottom too, it seems kind of precarious. And I think, I don't want to get into anything political, but I think in my world, climate change is science. So I am going to mention it, but that balance is so precarious, right? And we can influence things like that. So even in our own little part of the world, we can do that. So it's not your responsibility to finish the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. So can we just take turns? Alyssa, why don't you start and go ahead, and this is some commentary on this. Why don't you read this slide, and there's a couple more, and I'm going to have each of you read a slide.
Sure. The Jewish religion teaches that this world, God's creation, is intended to be perfect. What would the perfect world look like? It would be full of life, especially its highest form, human life, and built to sustain justice, equality, and peace. But the present state of the world is so far from perfect. How can we possibly achieve Tikkun Olam, a repaired world? To get there, we will have to overcome the enemies of life: poverty, hunger, oppression, discrimination, war, and sickness.
Anyone?
The Jewish answer is covenant, a loving partnership between God and humanity. We commit our lives to improving the world. We will work steadfastly, faithfully, advancing step by step until we attain a state of total perfection. This incremental approach means that the goal cannot be reached in one generation. Therefore, Judaism requires a partnership between the generations. Each generation will improve the world as far as it can. Then it must educate its children and pass on the mission to the next generation until the goal is reached.
Susan.
Rabbi Tarfon teaches, do not be arrogant. Do not think that you alone can finish the job. Trust in your children and generations yet unborn to take up the task. Know that you are part of the living chain of people who have dreamed, worked for a better world, and carried on this mission for 4,000 years in an unbroken covenant.
Thank you. How do you feel about all that?
Got broad shoulders. Carrying on some responsibility and helping to teach it to others.
Ma'am, you weren't sure. You kind of went,
Me?
Yeah, you kind of went, were you not sure, or was I misreading your body
Oh,
language?
no, I was thinking of that song, La Dor Vador.
Oh, very good. Yeah, that's a perfect association from generation. Yeah,
Yeah.
from generation to generation. Alyssa, do you have any thoughts about this one? You don't have to. if you don't.
Quite overwhelming, right? It can be overwhelming.
It really is. And I think, go ahead.
I was just saying, and I can't think of the word I wanted to use. Go ahead. I'll think of it when you're done.
Okay. No, all I was going to say is I was going to tell you a little story. So you know how we're supposed to teach the next generation. Well, I have to tell you, this was probably a few months ago. My dad was doing a letter writing campaign. He's very big into trying to get people moving. So he had issues because, believe it or not, I'm trying to remember the organization. It might have been Sierra Club. He was looking at their magazine, and it did not say it was printed on recycled paper. So he contacted them. He wrote them a letter and said, is it printed on recycled paper? And they said, well, no. And he said, well, why not? And so anyway, he was starting this, he started this whole project where he's looking through all of these, what he felt should have been people who were doing this and weren't. And he started writing letters. And he got on me and he said, you need to start writing letters and you need to do this and you need to do that. So here's this teaching the next generation. I didn't like that so much, this whole you need to write letters. And yeah, you know, I finally explained to him that, Dad, you can teach me responsibility for the environment and for the world. It doesn't mean I'm going to go about it the same way you do.
That's right.
Right. And I think that's an important thing too. You know, even if sometimes our kids don't do, our kids or our students or the people we communicate with, if they don't do it the way we do, sometimes that's hard to take. But you know, we have to kind of get some perspective on that, and everybody's got to do their own thing. So I thought I'd mention that as, you know, he's trying to do a Lador Vador, and I'm like, yeah, Dad, but you know, I got different, you know, so I started telling him about the, you know, all the food waste stuff that I've been involved with lately, ever since I started learning about it. And I'm like, so you're still buying packaged food, aren't you? Don't buy that packaged food, you know, and I'm like getting on him, like, see? Hi, Lily. So she's wearing my favorite headband today.
Every day.
So I think one of the keys, as far as I'm concerned, is not to let the overwhelm make you not do it at all. Sometimes we can get stunned into inertia, and we need to light our own fire under our own butt sometimes and just get going. So today we're going to talk about serialism. This term was coined by Michael Albert. He's a modern pop artist that I came across while I was looking for ideas. And he is credited with starting the cereal box thing, of cutting up cereal boxes and turning them into collages. He was inspired. He had a cereal box that was a very popular one, which you'll see on the next slide, and he just couldn't bear to throw it away. It had some sentimental reason to him, but he didn't know what to do with it. And one day he was just inspired, and so he created a collage out of it. And you can see on the left here which one that was. And all he did is cut up the box and put it together in his own way, and it created a really interesting piece of art. He called this an American classic or something like that. I don't remember what he called it. But if you look at the other one on the right side of your screen, his work has sort of evolved into, you know, a lot of it is taking words or phrases. They're not all environmentally bent. But some are environmental, some are political, some are just, he did one where he did the digits of pi on this really, really huge thing. He must have had thousands of the numbers all in a row of you know, 3.14159, etc. So anyway, he said this whole idea of saving materials and turning them into art became my thing. With materials that were really just useless otherwise. So one example also, his when his brother got married and they got all their photography done, they ordered his pictures, and then he said to Michael, I don't know what to do with all these proofs. And so Michael took them and cut them up and put them back together into this beautiful montage in the shape of a heart that illustrated all these different images and times and things from the wedding. And of course it was beautiful and it was interesting and creative. And so I thought it would be fun for us to think about the journey that we've taken this semester in exploring Tikkun Olam, and make something that represents our own, you know, what's something that's near and dear to our hearts. You know, what speaks to you? Here are the sort of themes we went over. We talked about Bal Tashchit, minimizing waste. Does anybody remember the story behind that one? What the quote was about?
No.
This was about how you shouldn't destroy your enemy's fruit tree when you're sieging, when you besieged his city. You know, do what you want to him, but leave the fruit trees up. You know, you should not destroy things that we need, benefit from. Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof. This was our calligraphy exercise with Rabbi Druin that we got to learn about calligraphy and about the quote, Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof. We talked about gratitude and about how there is a requirement, some rabbis say, to say 100 blessings per day, and about how important gratitude is to make the world a better place. We use Zentangle to explore inner peace by helping get ourselves centered and reframe our own perspectives so that we are in a better place to help other people. Last week, I think we might have missed thematically a little bit. Last time we met, I didn't really explain this. I thought that actually that Kim was going to talk about it, but the whole point was Hidur Mitzvah, beautifying while doing good. And although we weren't doing the good, there are some paper cut artists who do these, they do these paper cut things that then benefit charity and invite people in. And we made a Hamsa, which, just to remind you, for those who don't know, it's supposed to ward off the evil eye. It's sort of a good luck charm. It's not Jewish, but it's not Jewish religiously in one of our books. It is Jewish culturally, from where we've been. And then today we're talking about responsibility. So even though we can't get it done, we're compelled to contribute. So I wanted to turn it over to you and to ask you, is there something, one of these or something else entirely, that you feel is important, that you want to think about in terms of repairing the world, making the world a better place?
Well,
So
I thought
Yeah.
about paying it forward again.
Pay it forward. Okay, tell me more. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, taking maybe somebody did a good gesture for you, and to pay it forward, you do a good gesture to someone else, and that might inspire them to pay it forward and do a gesture for someone else.
Yes. Do you guys remember that old, I think it was a Clairol shampoo commercial? Alyssa, you're too young for this, but do you remember the one where they said, and they told two friends, and they told two friends, and they told two friends? Yeah, oh, you do remember it. Okay. And I always think of that in terms of doing nice things for people also, paying it forward, showing gratitude. The more you do it, it spreads, it's contagious. I think that does make a big difference. So pay it forward. Does anybody else have a quote or a concept, Tikkun Olam, that really is something near and dear to your heart?
I guess for me, it'd be something about the environment,
Okay.
taking care of the environment.
All right. Is there something you actively do to take care of not something, just, is there one you want to share? I know it's probably more than one thing.
I'm trying to think of just one thing.
Recycling.
What'd you say?
The recycles everything.
All right. Great.
Yells
That's true,
at
I
me
do.
if I put a plastic bag away by accident.
Oh my gosh.
And so when I throw a plastic bag in the wastebasket, I'll think of her saying, "Mom," and then I'll get it and put it in the bag.
Not enough to make you stop doing it, but
It's in my brain.
yeah, recycling has gotten easier, but there's still things that can't be recycled easily, and different communities are different, and sometimes it takes a lot of work to recycle stuff. And yeah, so that's a good one. Susan, do you have anything that you want to share?
Finding the silver lining or 100 blessings,
Mm-hmm.
paying it forward, being positive.
All good things. So what I chose to focus on will not surprise some of you is food waste. I've sort of become really, I guess I didn't really think before that I could make a difference. I was thinking about it as, the grocery stores and the big guys. And it sort of got hammered home to me in Just Eat It, that video that we saw. Those Alyssa, you were in my class last time, right? And we saw this video about the food waste, and I realized that I could be doing a lot more in my own house to waste less. And so I did that. So what I want to do today, I'm gonna show, let me show this slide again. So you can see the one on the left and the one on the right, they're different collages. And what I would like us to do today is think about whether it's pay it forward. For me, it's stop food waste, or if there's a short phrase that you want to represent on your collage, you can do that. One thing that I did is I'm a little bit ahead of you because I wanted to just kind of make sure this was going to work. So I played a little bit myself, and I'll show you what I have going on here. Let me see if this works. All right. So you can see I kind of drew an outline. This was a little icon I found online of, it's kind of like the recycling rings with a fork up through the middle of it. And it doesn't mean to recycle your food, but it's about avoiding food waste and what can you do to avoid food waste. So you can see I cut letters out from all the various sources that I found to spell out my thought. And then I'm going to fill in the little shapes that I made monochromatically so that the picture shows up. Does that make sense? So I want the arrows to show up. So I'm going to use, probably a single color from one source so that they really pop more. And then the background will probably just be random, pretty rainbowy kind of stuff. Okay, so you can get your scraps from magazines, you can get them from food boxes. I like the idea of food boxes because you're creating, well, food boxes, magazines. Magazines are recyclable, so are most food boxes, but not all. So I like the idea of creating something out of something else that was just going to get thrown out anyway. And I thought this would be fun, instead of telling you what to represent, to this time you choose on your own, what about this school year has driven home to you about our roles in Tikkun Olam. And okay. So the first thing that you'll do is, you saw that I had a piece of cardboard. You can make it any size you want. One thing, the first time, I'll show you something I did. I was really, I started this the other day and I got really, really crazy. I tend to be a detail girl. So I got this far and then I got completely blown away because this was just too much. Talk about overwhelmed. There was no way I could work with pieces this small and finish this thing. I just decided it was too much. So one of the things I thought of was I want to go ahead and use bigger pieces. So you can see I used bigger pieces so I wouldn't need as many to fill my space and still come up with something cool. So that actually is all the instruction I have. The rest is just hanging out and chatting and making collages. And if you have questions, you can ask questions. Everybody can stay as long as they want. And I just wanted to say thank you very much in case we leave all at different times. I just wanted to say thank you for joining me for this fun journey via art. I love to do art and share art and see people be inspired. So thank you for giving me the honor of all of us learning together. I have learned a lot too. So yeah, just wanted to say that before we.
Thank you. This has been great.
Yeah.
Yay.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of what I'm doing.
So what I ended up doing when I was trying to put my words together, I cut out the part of the box with all the words on it that had the nice big words. I cut out a bunch of those, and then I could pick and choose what letters I wanted. And I kind of went, maybe it's a little over the top to put that picture in there. I just thought that kind of took it up a notch. If you want to do it more like Albert did with his Save the Planet thing, where it's just beautiful with big letters and it's also gorgeous. You don't have to make these shapes if you don't want, obviously. One of the advantages of Mod Podge, and one of the reasons I suggested Mod Podge if you want, is that when you're done, you can then brush a coating of Mod Podge over, and that will seal your collage if you want to do that. So and if you don't have Mod Podge, you can do the same thing by mixing your glue. As long as it's a clear glue, you can mix it 1-to-1 with water and brush that on, and it'll do the same thing. Not to overwhelm you with ideas, but another thing you can do if you want to make it multimedia, you can use scraps of fabric. I know, Pam, you have a lot of those lying around. You can include scraps of fabric and glue them down. That works too. You can include buttons, pop-tops. I've seen all kinds of interesting ways to illustrate. Somebody's cutting really.
No, that's me. I'm sorry. I'm drawing on paper on top of cardboard.
That was funny. You were just close to your microphone, I think.
Yeah,
While you're thinking about, are you thinking about a picture? Is that what you're trying to decide?
Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to do it.
Okay. Well, you could start assembling panels of letters to pick from while you're thinking, if you want.
No, I need the whole plan.
Okay, you go, girl. you do you.
Deb,
Wise are hard to find.
Yes, look for something crunchy.
true.
Yes, Susan.
I sent you a text you might want to open because it somewhat relates to what we're doing.
Whoa.
I don't know if you can share the picture.
I think I can. Let me see if I can. Give me a second to get it onto my computer. There we go. All right, so Susan sends this, and she says, this is an art hat with found plastics, helping to bring awareness to single-use plastics. Plastic is unsustainable and does not break down. What else can you tell us about this, Susan? That's really cool.
Thanks. So this is, if you think of an orange cone, the kind that blocks traffic sometimes, this is a skeleton of that made out of wire. And our goal was to use found plastics to make something beautiful. I connected up with this artist because part of my responsibilities at work is curating art. So I connected up with this artist who had a workshop last summer to heighten awareness of single-use plastic. And this workshop involved a hat. So people from across the world made these hats, and they were exhibited at the art house down past Fulton.
Oh my gosh.
They are no longer exhibited there, but they will be coming to Beechwood. Surprise, surprise. And there are about 50 hats made from all different kinds of things, including what you see here: cigarette filters, straws, handles of Tide or any kind of laundry detergent or dishwashing detergent. So it made people aware of, gosh, why am I using this and then throwing it out? Because who knows where it's being thrown out to? We
Yeah.
had a parade down by the Upcycle Recycle shop to, again, draw awareness to people's consumption or consumerism to this. And in July, when the exhibit comes to Beechwood, we're hoping also to have community involvement through workshops to make these hats, as well as presentation from the sustainability department with the city of Cleveland.
Wow, that's super cool.
That is a cool. Did you make that one?
I did.
That is so cool.
It was fun to collect stuff. I never knew there was, well, I did know there was a lot of plastic out there, but that's a slinky in there. It's a happy birthday balloon kind of thing in there. It's hair ties in there. At the very bottom, because we had to wear these actually, I pretended like that red coil that you see, it's from a notebook.
Oh
paper.
yeah, spiral.
Mhm.
I love it.
So
That's very cool.
We went on vacation once to the Caribbean, Stuart and I, and we walked the beach every morning, and there was like a little grotto area where the water went in, and it was all coral, and someone had started an altar to the sea god. And what they did is whatever trash you found on the beach, you added it to the altar. And of course, just all kinds of objects. And so Alyssa's in-laws have a home on Lake Michigan, and in the summer they go there. They have a beach. And so when we went to visit once, we took the kids and we scoured the beach for items, and we made our own altar to the sea god.
Huh.
And it was really cool. And they kept it for a few years until it was worn away by the water. But it was such a neat idea. But the things that you find on the beach that wash up is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. There is so much research going on now about ways to break down plastics, and I can't remember the specific mechanism, but something had been identified that used, now I'm not going to remember what it used. The important thing is they have made some serious headway. Oh my gosh, I'm about to lose power. I guess I better plug my computer in. They made some headway in being able to break down a kind of plastic. They found a way to do it. And if that can become widespread, can you imagine? I mean, yeah, we use too much of it, but while it's out there, just having the ability to break some of it down, and what they were able to do was break it down and recycle it into other things. I've seen stuff where they were talking about using plastic in pavement as part of asphalt.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's caught on, unfortunately.
I think some mulches are made out of, or playground cushions. I forget how they go. When you land on a playground on your nose, it's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember when we were kids, they started using old tires in playgrounds for the padding, and also as just putting them in for us to climb on. The one that gets me is looking on the side of the road sometimes. It amazes me how the world is our garbage can. It kind of blows me away. I don't know why it should surprise me, but it does. But I'm the rose-colored glasses girl, so. So for my words also, I laid them out before I glued any of them down because I wanted to make sure I had them in a place that I could fit everything and that it was going to come out the way I wanted to. I mean, obviously this is just for fun, but if you're going to keep it, and I'm kind of weird about that. I do a lot of art and I love to put it up and look at it and remember why I did it and when I did it and stuff like that. I do a lot of those paint night things, and I get a big kick out of that. So if you're going to keep it and you want it to look nice, just, line things up, and maybe we can put them on display for anybody who finishes it for T times 3.
What's T times 3?
T times 3 is the in-person on the grounds program. We just lost Alyssa. It's on May 16th. It's a full day of, it's the celebration of the end of our tent for the year, as well as Tikkun Olam stuff. Oh, here she is again. Doing Tikkun Olam and also studying for Shavuot. It goes on all day. There's lots of different parts of the day, and there are going to be hands-on projects to do, whether it's writing letters or there's actually a collage project, I think, being done there. I'm trying to remember what the projects are.
There's Rescue Village is making dog pools out of
That's right,
felt
dog toys and stuff.
and out of fleece.
Yes. So this is it's a combination of our celebration of the last day of our tent, as well as Mitzvah Day, which we normally do every year. So celebration of teachers for finishing up the year. And
Can you guys hear me?
yes.
Okay, you couldn't hear me before, I had to log off.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, you're right, you couldn't.
I was just gonna say, I was lucky enough in college to go on a term abroad, thank you, Mom and Dad, where I was on a sailboat for 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Plastics in the ocean.
You did doing what?
Well, my research project, you had to pick a research project, and mine was plastics in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And so we would tow a net, and I did macro. Did I do macro? I did macro. You could do macro or micro. I did macro plastics, so things you could see and sometimes identify. And so I did a research project on that.
What did you find out?
I don't remember. I know I collected a lot. I have no idea. That was back on the, I think it was a 3.5-inch floppy. So it's somewhere lost in time.
Yep.
She was also mostly seasick.
Oh my gosh.
No, I was only, after the first 2 weeks, I was fine.
After the first 2 weeks. 2 weeks is
It
long
wasn't,
enough.
I wasn't super sick. Some people were super sick.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was awesome. But yeah, we all had research projects. So it was just that the plastics in the ocean were increasing, and you kind of like where they were coming from and what could we do about it. I think is what my project was about. Because at that time, I was the first one at my college to get a degree in environmental science.
Oh.
First year to graduate with that degree.
I didn't know that was your degree. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What was your thinking at the time of what you would do with it, and how did that work out?
I have no idea what I was going to do with it.
It was just something you were passionate about?
Right. I was pre-med and I decided I didn't want to be, and so all my credits transferred. And I was told I had 4 years to finish school, right? So
I went through something similar.
that, go to a private liberal arts school, you have 4 years. So so I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I taught for a little bit. I I had interviewed with some companies, but at that time, companies, weren't really hiring in that field. You had to be really creative or do it under like an economics, or something else. So I taught a little bit. And then that's how I got into consulting, but management consulting, team building. But it's always just been a passion, I guess, of mine.
Yeah.
Now it's a huge field. There's so much you can do with it.
Do you ever think you'll get back into it? The specific field?
Maybe. I've done consulting projects that, touch on, environmental issues. But maybe I just have to kind of have to find the right thing that I'm interested in. And
yeah,
there are some consulting firms in Cleveland that are environmentally based. I've done work with some of them in the past, but I don't know. I'll figure out what I want to be when I grow up at some point.
Yeah, I keep saying that too. And what I've been fortunate enough that I've embraced that I don't ever have to decide on one thing, and there is no end point. So
right.
I'm fortunate to be able to do all that exploring and continue to.
Exactly.
I can't believe all the stuff I've been able to do in my life so far. I don't know if you guys saw this, those of you who are on Facebook with me, but I'm now teaching pastry classes to pastry students at Loretta Paganini Culinary Institute.
Cool.
And I said to the guy when he called me because he was desperate for a teacher, they had found my website. I said, I'm not a pastry chef, right? I've never studied it at school. And he just kind of laughed and he said, yeah, well, Loretta saw your website and that's your resume. You're fine.
Wow, that's a great compliment.
Isn't that nice? So now I'm trying to catch up because they're way ahead of me on some things. The kids, kids, students. I shouldn't say kids. They're all ages. So did you decide on a design then, Alyssa?
No, but I have an idea. So I'm cutting some things out. And then maybe that'll spur me to how I want to do the other stuff.
Got it. Nice.
I'm not going to say more now because I'm still thinking.
That's all right. Don't let me mess with your mojo.
I'll show you in a sec. I'm in the middle of cutting something.
Susan, did you decide on what you're going to do?
It's evolving. I thought I was going to do 100 blessings.
Yeah.
But I found all these great words that kind of combine things.
Awesome. One of the ones Michael Albert did that I thought was cool, he did the entire Gettysburg Address on one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did the preamble to the Constitution. Yeah, the more I looked, the more I was like, this is really fun.
Now I have another idea.
Yeah, I realized after a day of cutting little tiny pieces of cardboard that magazines would be just as good. And And it gives you a lot more text if you're looking for more text. Because all the ads have big pieces. One thing that Michael Albert does that I thought was kind of cool is he always cuts out the shape of an M and the shape of an A, or uses a letter M and A for his initials and includes it in the collage to sign his work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So he what he'll do is he'll turn a piece of cardboard, he'll turn it over like this and trace it or draw it on the back, and then cut out the M and cut out the A, and then, you know, include them as part of the collage. Or he just literally cuts out the letters and uses those. Yeah, I suppose I could have pre-warned you so you could have had an idea of what to do. It was more fun to try to surprise you, selfishly speaking. Oh, it's kind of funny. My family, as I told them what I was doing this week, I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to collect enough boxes? You know, because I'm like, we don't use that much stuff. I could not believe how much stuff they piled up in a week. You know, here I am thinking, oh yeah, I don't use as much packaged food. Well, the purple I'm using right now came from the Uncrustables that are in the freezer. And I've got Snapple, I've got Wheaties, Amy's Mexican TV dinner.
Yeah, that's part of my thing about recycling. I'm like, I recycle a lot, but I need to reduce a lot.
Yes.
I need to focus on reducing.
And I'm big also on reusing, because there's so much that we can reuse. So I do tend to keep things. So here's an example. This is an empty tissue box. Have you seen these that go in your car? They go right in your cup holder. But when you're done, you can take the top out and you can use it as a pencil holder or anything else. And what I want to do with this is I was thinking of doing decoupage on it, just like putting something pretty on the outside and using it as part of my backdrop, put a couple dried flowers in it and use it as my backdrop for Shabbat. So I thought that would be kind of fun. But yeah, I love that they make it so easy to do. This pops right out, and you know, it even is going to be good for holding the flowers in place because it makes the hole smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have stuff all over. I actually just I'm a fan of Riesling wine, and I like the Relax brand. It's very easy to drink, very sweet. And the bottle is this beautiful deep blue, like a cobalt blue color. And so I saved that, and I'm going to do dot painting on it and make some, you know, with paint, acrylic paint, and make
Does it come in different not flavors, but different flavors?
Riesling comes in different sweetnesses. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
The flavor is typically similar, thank goodness. But you can get it in different sweetnesses. This one is labeled moderately sweet. So for me, it's easy to drink when I'm not eating anything because it's not like horrendously dry. Like dry wines, I prefer when I'm eating something. I'm okay with that. But I prefer the sweeter Rieslings. What's that?
Riesling Relax in a blue bottle.
Oh yeah, it's a blue bottle and it says Relax up the side in big letters.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I might have seen that.
You might have. And here's the kicker. It's got a screw cap. Really easy to open.
Right? You don't have to fuss about opening it, right?
No fuss. And it's cheap too. It's typically under $10. So it meets all my criteria for something I can drink regularly.
Deb, do you know what we need to return to the temple as far as supplies?
Oh, so yeah. So I reached out to Rabbi Shauna and I asked her which supplies we could, students could keep and which we needed to give back. And she said, anything that you think we can use in another session should be returned. But I mean, the only thing, so I don't know, so can I just tell you off the cuff? I don't know. Some of the stuff when we go to reuse it isn't in great shape once it gets used again. Markers dry out, and if they don't get used, they just dry out, and I hate to see stuff wasted. My personal feeling is if you got a new supply during this class that you think that you are really going to use a lot, and you really will, then I would encourage you to keep it and use it, because I think it'll get used a lot more than if it gets thrown into a cabinet there. And if it turns out you don't use it over the summer or whatever, bring it in the fall and then we'll have it. Does that make sense? Because I would really like to see these supplies get used rather than just sit there.
Well, my grandkids are already.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll make a donation because we've been using ours too.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you're using them.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Oh, the other thing I was going to suggest for this collage, if you're looking for some cool paper to use in it, remember that scrapbook paper that was in your kit? That would look beautiful in this too, especially if you're looking for
yeah.
like one pattern to decorate some part of it or a background or something. Pull out that stuff. I had originally planned to use that as sort of covers for a gratitude journal or something. And then that was the day. I don't think I ever told you guys what happened with my eye. Do you remember that day when my eye was really bad?
Yeah.
So it went on. You got me like the second day. It was the worst day of the whole thing, was when I was teaching. It got better, but it never really went away. And so 4 weeks later, I finally had an appointment with the eye doctor because I was going anyway. And he found there was a little tiny fiber of something stuck right on the front of my eyeball.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It had been there for 4 weeks, and he had to, not to gross you out, and maybe this is TMI, but he had to scrape it off. And so I had to go like a couple weeks without my contacts after that, after already 4 weeks without them because of the pain. But there really was something there, and it was so nice that he was actually able to find something and fix it. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, the point of that was that's why we didn't make a gratitude journal or any journal that day, but that's why I had all that extra paper in there. Might as well use it. That the temple didn't pay for, by the way. I threw a lot of my own art supplies in. Again, this was back into the, if it's around and I'm not using it, let's get it used somewhere. I used to scrapbook a lot, but I don't anymore.
In college, I took a bookmaking class.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
you
it was
learned
really
the
cool.
sewing and everything?
Well, so we made them out of I'm trying to think of everything I made it out. So I know I made one out of, well, that was my final project. So I know we made some, like we took some cool paper or whatever, and then bound it with, like, I remember embroidery thread, and made some that way. I made some out of, like, dating myself. I don't know if it was I want to say like an LP cover or an album cover I used to make a book out of. like,
Yeah,
cut it out.
sure.
And then my final project I made out of, it was out of a drawer from a dresser. And it was like single socks. And the title was like Socks Without Partners. So I made a drawer and I put socks in it and then put like a plexiglass top and with hinges. And that was my book.
Oh my gosh.
It was really cool. We still have it in the basement.
You
love
have that
it.
one? You still have that?
I think so.
Yeah, and then I made other little ones. I don't know where they are. There's probably in some box in their basement too. But
There's a
yeah,
lot
it was,
out there.
I didn't have to write anything. I just, we just made the books.
That's cool. I actually, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was looking for, I was just looking for new art projects. I wanted something to distract me and to kind of hold my interest. And I started thinking about doing a mixed media art journal. Apparently that's like a thing and they do really cool stuff with it. And, so I started reading all about making the book and how to, like what to do in it with stamping and collecting and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still fascinated by it because again, it's like a way to use trash. But one of those many ideas I never got around to. I also thought I was going to journal every day because I thought, oh, we got to do some journaling during this, right? So 2 days later, that fell by the wayside.
Here's my mini collage. It took on many different
Oh, wait,
avenues.
hold it closer so we can see. Let me actually hang on. I'm going to spotlight you.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
like-
wow.
So
Cool.
this here, oh, wait, this here, it's from the Can Journal, and that pretty much wraps it up, that we can do most things as a community, as a change agent. We can help others and support them. Actually ask how you are. Take in different people. Smile. Recycles. Oops, sorry. It's back here. Recycle there.
Very
I
nice.
love it. That's cool. Will you bring that to Tea Times 3? Or maybe I can pick it up from you if you're not coming.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Well, I was thinking if there were any of our little projects that we wanted to bring. I don't know about you guys, but oh, I should show you. I finished my my hamsa and I framed it.
Oh,
Because I happen to have, it's one of those things, you know how you collect stuff, right? So I had a frame and a mat that was perfect. Let me grab it and show you. Hang it up right outside the door there. Trying to get the glare off of it.
oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah,
We
so I
can't-
just stuck with 2 colors. What's that?
Oh, cool. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Wow. That
But it looks
great.
like art on my wall. It looks like
It is
art.
art. It is art, Deb.
So that was pretty fun.
All right, I have my idea. I changed it, but I got it now.
Okay. Are you sharing or are you going to just work on it?
Well, I can show you my mock. This is my mock-up. I don't know if you can see it. It says "Save Our Planet," and there's going to be a world that I'll make out of, collage stuff, and then "Save Our Planet"
Oh, cool.
out of letters I'm cutting out. And then I
Yay.
have some other things I'll put in the background.
Cool.
Okay, here's mine.
All right, Pam, I'm spotlighting you. Paying it forward is full of possibilities. Look at that. I
That's
love it. Is that scrap of paper background or is that fabric?
Fabric, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Whoop,
I love it. Well done.
thank you. Now to glue.
I can't find a V.
How about an ad where it's telling you to save money?
Oh yeah, I'll have to go grab some magazines.
Yeah, I have for this monochrome stuff. I had a catalog and I cut out a big suitcase from the front of it, and then I'm going to cut up the suitcase because it's all the same color to make one of my arrows. And then what I'm doing is I'm cutting out the arrow, and then I'm going to cut that into pieces and just assemble it on the thing. So I'm kind of cheating a little, maybe.
Found one.
All right.
W's are hard. T's and W's.
Well, I got Wheaties boxes, so I had plenty of W.
Yeah. Well, I had checks.
Well, you had an X. But I don't know what we would have used that for, but Tikkun ×3, you could use it for the X.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to ask? So if I were to teach another art class, what should I do differently next time? I'm big into postmortem, so I'll get you while I got you.
I think with the first class that we had with the rabbi, if that was the first class,
He was the second class, but yeah.
second class, I would have liked to learn more about the letters themselves and why they go this way and that way. He was interesting in what he was saying, but just a little bit more into why the shin or the lamed or whatever goes this way, that way, how it originated. I don't even know if that's knowledge out there, but it would probably be.
Yeah, I was much more interested in the Gemara, like the counting and the mysticism of the numbers of the letters than I was about really discussing tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. And I think we just kind of had a little misunderstanding. What I wanted him to do was to teach us how to do the calligraphy, which we got a little bit of, but, that's what I was hungry for, was the Hebrew calligraphy stuff. But, yeah, I think it would have been, more fun. That's the fun sort of challenge when we bring somebody in, right? Because they've got their thing. And
Right.
yeah, but that's a good thing. Yeah, I wish we had been able to corral him a little better into more of what perhaps we were interested in more. But either way, it was really cool and interesting, but
I concur with her. I would have liked to hear and see more of the styles
Yes.
and that kind of thing. Maybe
Yeah.
some more artistic rather than academic.
I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I'm making a mess.
Did you like in general, did you like having the double length class so we could actually work on projects better?
Yes.
Yeah, I always feel like those short classes, you get started and you're done. There's not time to really grab into something.
Right.
Yeah, and I do like that you brought in, I like doing stuff with you too, but I like that you also brought in a few times, outside people sharing their specialty. That was really nice.
They were good, weren't they? Learning the paper cut, I think, was probably my favorite art activity. Because I find that fascinating. Do you know, Kim sent me we had been talking about art and doodling and, the whole Zentangle thing. And she sent me a little blank art journal from Michael's. to just kind of, she had been describing it to me. And I told her, oh, that sounds so cool. I'm going to go look for it, whatever. And the next thing I knew, it showed up on my doorstep. So to me, that actually has been part of the fun too, is the getting to know people and you guys too. I mean, Pam, I wouldn't have even recognized you on the street before this. And so it's super to get to know you as well.
Oh, the same here. It's nice to know other temple members. I used to be very involved when I had small children, and then we moved to 45 minutes away, and it changes your pattern of traffic, I guess, going and doing.
But now you're closer again.
Well, yeah. Now my grandkids are involved, so get back into things.
It's going to be strange to try to get back into showing up again, you know? I mean, I've gotten so spoiled by not having to drive anywhere to do any of this. I hope that I hope that everybody decides it's that it still fits in with their schedule and works for them to drive in when we have it in person. I think we're still going to have some virtual options in the fall, because we know not everybody's going to be ready. And also, one of the discussions we had is, why limit ourselves? I mean, come on, we have Hillel from Israel zooming in to teach a class. How cool is that?
Yeah,
Go back to completely the way they used to be. This medium just has made so many possibilities.
Yes, exactly. I agree.
yeah, and even with like your cooking class, like that was great being able to do it in our own homes. So
Right.
even in the fall, like you said, thinking about what would make sense doing it at Temple or at homes, or even if you did another art class, like going to artist studios in Cleveland, that would be pretty
Yeah.
cool too.
Oh, that's a good idea. Now you got me thinking.
You know, a rabbi used to teach a class at the art museum. They would meet at the art museum and they take a look at whatever exhibit and.
Oh, like at the malts? Was it at the
Well,
mall?
she went to the Cleveland Art Museum. I couldn't do it because I was teaching both semesters.
Oh, that's right. She was an art history major.
Pardon me?
She was an art history major.
Yeah. And loves public art.
So that would be a good, yeah. Well, I'm not going to be able to finish this all today, but I think I can finish my everything but the background, I think. Because I always have to make it complicated.
I have to show you how we did some recycling art, my grandkids the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Alyssa, look away.
Oh, okay.
Came over and we took rocks
Oh,
and we decoupaged them with Mod Podge with
Oh,
fabrics. This, of
beautiful.
course, is my grandson's. He wanted black
uh-huh.
with some silver stripes. And Lily made 3.
Oh, that's so cool. Is there a certain day coming up at which Alyssa will get to see those?
Yes.
Aha.
Now they're going to come and wrap them in copper wire and put beads on.
Oh my gosh.
I want to
Yeah.
come to your house.
I was going to say, I want to come to your art class.
We do art all the time here. They come up in my sewing room and they go nuts.
Well, maybe you could teach a
Whatever
you
they
should
want, as long
teach-
as they don't cut themselves. Or
you
so
could teach an art class for us, Pam.
No, I'm not a teacher.
Oh,
I just like to play with.
But you're an artist, Pam?
No, I'm a nurse. I was for almost 50 years.
Well, that in itself is artistry.
and you don't have to be one or the other. You can be both.
Yeah. You can be it
I think-
all.
I'm telling my age, but when I went to school, that your guidance counselor said you could be a nurse, a teacher, a social worker, a secretary. They
Oh
didn't
gosh.
put you into whatever you would had an interest in. They told you what was available to women.
Lovely.
I took one of those tests, what you should be when you grow up, and my results thought I should be a farmer.
Mine
There you
was a
go.
carpenter. Mine was a carpenter.
Carpenter. I
Yeah.
love.
You take those tests, the Ohio State Department of Education would come to your school and give you all these tests.
Right. I'm like
That's
a
funny.
farmer? I
A
don't think so.
farmer and a carpenter, we could get along well.
Yeah,
guess
that's
so.
funny.
All right, I'm gonna clean up my stuff.
All right. Oh, now I need an outline of the world that I can then cut pieces and put them on.
Oh, you're actually gonna do the countries and stuff, the continents?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's what I was
or,
thinking.
or you could just do like greens and blues and just kind of make blobs of each.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
I think people would get it still.
Okay.
It's not exact, but I think you could drive yourself crazy.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's where I was going. Okay, I have a
I
good
know I'm with you on that crazy path, by the way. Always. I always make things much harder.
I've been able to do this with all boxes.
Oh, cool.
See, we recycle everything, but we a lot of boxes here. All right.
Yeah, I like your approach to thinking about how to reduce. Because that's a big one.
Yeah. All right, I need. Ooh. Yeah, I'm still on my call.
What are you making today?
A collage. You want to say hi to
Oh,
everyone?
so that's why you have all these boxes.
Yeah.
Max,
Hi, Max.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Good to see you.
You too.
I heard good things about your cocoa bombs.
Yep.
Oh, they're yummy, huh?
Yeah.
I just did a class for a school group in Maryland where I shipped them all the supplies, and we made cocoa bombs with a bunch of 5th grade girls, 30 5th grade girls.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, that was really fun. And then afterwards, the person I'd been coordinating with said her mom loved the cocoa bombs so much that she wants to get a kit for her mom for Mother's Day so that her mom could make them. So I just sent that off.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, I have a globe next to me now with my guide.
There you go. So you can just kind of loosely go with that, eh?
Yeah.
Good for you.
If you can get yourself not to try to make it perfect.
Right.
Thank you.
That's good.
Pretty much over. You have a good one.
Chris, our builder.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, you're not on mute.
oh, sorry, I'll mute you.
Hi, Dad.
But I wanted to hear about Chris the Builder. Just kidding. We just have a couple more minutes left. You guys have anything else you want to share, say, do?
No, did you say you wanted us to bring something for the mitzvah day or
Yeah, I would say
16th?
yes. If you have a project that you would be willing to put on display and share with congregants and show something that you made during this class, I would, or one or two, whatever, whatever you have. I think it would be lovely if you brought it so we can kind of, because normally that's what we do. We have a showcase where we show off some of the things that went on in the classes. So I would love it if you would like to bring something.
All right, just bring it. We don't have to do anything special with it or anything.
Nope. You don't have to do anything special with it. And I'll be there and I'll make a little display of whatever we bring. I'll send an email out to remind people.
Okay. I know we didn't, there are a lot of people are missing this week.
Yeah, so I know Ellen had out of town company and oh yay, it's done, it's done. I
Who's
love
fine?
that. You're muted, Pam.
I'll give it to Lissa to bring.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Are you going to put your initials on it somewhere or your name or just leave it as a statement unto itself?
I'll put PK on it.
All right. Find a
Mom,
P
you
and
know,
K and
you-
just stick them on.
And Mom, your Zentangle was really good too.
Oh, I love the Zentangle. It's very, I'm going to make a quilt somehow using that technique.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
I-
so cool.
I don't know if I'm going to stitch the Zentangles or mark them on fabric and sew them, or I don't know.
Yeah, but whatever you do, it's going to be cool.
It'll be fun.
Yes. I've done a little bit on a cake before.
Have you?
Yeah. But I didn't love it. So I got to work on that again if I'm going to show it to anybody. That's so cool. Yeah, bring your Zentangle, whatever you want to bring or send along so that we can share what we did. I think people would love to see it.
Right. So you want our cutouts also?
Sorry?
Our paper cutouts?
Anything you're willing to share, you will get it all back again. I promise.
Okay. All right.
I will take good care of it.
In the shower.
Are you going in this class?
Well, we're still working on our projects.
When is it supposed to?
Oh, it's supposed to be over like right now, but you know,
Kids are so-
art.
All right, I'll make you lunch in a minute. It was on Spring Baking Championships on Food Network. The kids love watching those shows.
Oh, cool.
One of the weeks they had to decorate a cake using different I don't know what word, I can't even think of the word, like different techniques. So one had to make it look like needlepoint on the
Oh,
cake. One had to make it look like knitting. It was really cool.
yeah, that is fun. I love to do that, to try to make things that look like something else.
Yeah.
I know sometimes they call it hyperrealism.
Yeah.
So the Sugar Rush that I was on, that's what we were in a hyperrealism kind of situation with the first round. We had to do something that looked like you know, whatever shape we found, whatever thing we found in the pantry. We had to pick something, and so we made a baseball.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how
Yeah,
many
I
of you
have,
saw that.
we have to watch that. We have to watch that. I have it saved like on my to watch list.
Ah, there you go. Well, I'll take a little bit of the excitement out by telling you we made a baseball in the first round, but that doesn't give anything away. So, oh, I'm almost done with my fork. One more tine, and I will have a fork. It's gonna be a lovely day today, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You guys going outside?
I hope
Yep.
so.
we're gonna go try out our new stand-up or inflatable stand-up paddleboard.
Inflatable stand-up paddleboard. Wow. Where?
There is a park in Hudson, right, not far from us, that called Hudson Springs Park, and really nice lake. And we're gonna see if we can put it in there.
Cool.
Hmm.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Water could be cold still.
Well, I'm not planning on getting wet. Once
Well,
I'm
you
on
never
the
plan
board,
to get wet.
once I'm on the board, as long as if it's as sturdy as other boards I've been on, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Um,
Brave lady.
so yeah.
I don't know. Inflatable and sturdy don't seem to go along for me, but
We inflated it in the house, and I was surprised. Like, if someone blindfolded me and asked if this was inflatable or not, I would say it is not inflatable. It was
Huh.
very sturdy. Yeah. So
well, I'll watch for pictures.
yeah.
Hopefully not on the 6 o'clock news.
Right.
Thanks, Mom.
She says that with the utmost confidence.
Oh, good. All right.
All right, so here's mine so far. I want to do a background, but
Cool.
that's everything
Nice.
else. So then what I'll probably do, I think I'll lose it unless I pick a single color for the background. I think
What
it'll.
did you make the signal out of, the logo?
The
Is that
logo? It's paper out of, so the yellow one is from a Snapple box. The blue tie-dye is from that suitcase I mentioned. The pink is from a very pretty dress from a catalog. And the
Oh.
purple is from the Uncrustables box.
Ah, very clever.
Yeah, so I just found enough of a solid color that I could kind of put it together like that.
Cool.
Maybe I should just Zentangle the background.
That would be great.
Ooh, yeah.
That's actually a really good idea. That would be totally mindful, and I could clean up all this mess. Mindful, mindless, both. All right, guys. We have made it to 11:35.
Whoa.
I know, it went fast today, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. It was fun. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed. Alyssa, I can't wait to see what yours looks like once you get it together.
You want to see my layout right now?
Sure.
Hold on, I gotta change. Nothing's glued down. Hold on. So I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna use your idea and put it on this green background thing. So it won't be white. It'll be that green with the
Yeah.
white. And then I'm I don't know if I can get high enough. So this, and then I'm gonna make a border around it with these other words.
Oh, cool.
Then,
I love it.
Nice.
Very
I like-
cool.
so,
Keep it up.
Mhm. I have a question,
Yep.
on the high holidays, when they show the screen with words and songs and artwork, is that copyrighted by the temple? Because I took screenshots of the
Which
Green.
when you say words and songs and artwork, what do you mean? Like
know- when you instead of showing the people, the rabbi and the people speaking, they had
the
the-
slides?
the slides, and they had beautiful artwork of art and things, and I took screenshots of them because it was like stained glass. It was beautiful. And I
Yeah.
wondered, is that copyrighted or can I use it in a quilt?
Oh, well, if you don't sell the quilt, you can use it for anything you want. But I will tell you, I can tell you the artist who did those backgrounds. She has actually a bunch of awesome stuff. Just to make sure we're talking about the same thing, I bought a piece of her art, and you can just confirm for me that this is what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yes. So her name is Karen Foreman.
Karen?
Nope. Her website is K-A-R. Oh, now I'm going to get it wrong. I think it's K-A-R-I-N. I'm going to look it up while we're at it. F-O-R-E-M-A-N. Let me check it while I'm here. KarenForeman.com. No, that's not right. I didn't type it right. Hang on. No, maybe it is an E. Karen Foreman, artist. Let's see how we spell her name. Oh, it is. It's Karinforeman. I was right.
.com.
.com. And she does some beautiful work. If you go to her website, there is, it's not always easy to navigate, but if you look at her, well, just, oh my gosh, I love this one. All right, I got to share this, you guys. This is just, I love her artwork. That was kind of why we picked her, as Rabbi and I both fell in love with her work.
yeah,
So,
that's
look at
beautiful.
this. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Pretty.
Isn't that cool? This one's Flame Keeper. So this is her work, and she does
Yeah.
all different styles. Oh, look at that. It's got shofars as the flames on the menorah. Look at the shin menorah with the shins. These are new. These were not here when we were looking last time.
That would have been a good paper cutting. Beautiful.
This one, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea.
One on the right, the more modern looking. That'd be great.
Yes. And then look at the Eitz Chaim.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, I love her work. And this one is Emunah, which means truth.
Beautiful.
What's the price point on these? And do they come matted or you have to do that on your
You
own?
can buy them any way you want. This one is actually, it's metal, is the one that I got, and it's got this on the back, and it comes with the thing to hang it up with. So this is a metal print, and I think I spent about $50 on that.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't that much, I don't think. And also, I would love if she got more, if you do end up trying to get her stuff, sometimes her website can be difficult, just contact her directly. She's very responsive, and tell her that I sent you, because she actually donated those slide backgrounds. She gave me all of them for nothing because of what I was using them for. And we did post her website up there, But, you know, I may be the only order that came off it, but if you do use her stuff and if you want to just say, hey, you know, remember the girl who you got the slides from, Deb Rogers, you know, she recommended I come to you and I love it. And can I buy this? I think that would be super.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can definitely, Pam, I don't know about the quilt thing. I mean, if you're making it for yourself, I don't see why you couldn't. You just can't sell it if it's copyrighted, right?
But you usually still have to ask permission of the artist
To
to
make
use
something?
a replica of their work.
Okay,
But
because I know for,
Tweak it. I would use it as an inspiration more than doing the
yes, yes.
exact-
And for an artist, I mean, I would say that that is a courtesy for sure. I know that with cake decorating, we try to, you know, you always say this cake was inspired by Pam Katz's design, you know, whatever. But I know from a copyright perspective, from a trademark perspective, I'm not allowed to sell a cake with Mickey Mouse on it, but I can make a cake and give it away if I want. So I do cakes that I donate to, it's like kids with major health issues. They have a program called Icing Smiles, and I donate cakes for these kids on their birthdays. And I can make anything I want because I'm not selling it. I'm not making a profit on it.
Okay,
So one is an artist courtesy and the other is the law.
right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for her name. Those
Yeah.
slides were gorgeous.
I thought so too. You know,
just wondered that.
maybe we should, you know, you just gave me an idea. I might like to remind people of that artist because I've had a lot of comments about that art. And sometimes we're looking for fillers in our Temple Times that comes out every day. And what I could say is, remember that art from the slides? Go visit her website. Here's her stuff. And I think that would be kind of cool to do. I think people would enjoy revisiting it and seeing more of her work too.
Yeah.
It prepares us for the holidays also.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, guys, or comments or thoughts? All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. I look forward to seeing
Thank
pictures
you.
of your work. Hope to see some of you on the 16th. I mean, I hope to see all of you, but I know I won't, so it's okay. All right.